Breath meditation at belly, 20 minutes. Whatever posture you have chosen, just make sure you're comfortable and that the neck, back and head are vertically aligned. Let's make sure that we prepare the face as well. So have your mouth slightly open. Bring awareness to any areas of tension, like in the lips, the jaw or the eyes. Just move that area slightly and let the tension dissipate so that your face is completely relaxed. The same goes for your body. So push your shoulders down and just feel the tension release from them. And bring awareness to any further areas of tension. Just move them slightly, give them a wiggle, and let the tension dissipate from them. We want to let our breathing happen spontaneously. It's been going for decades now, so there's no need to interfere with it now that we're paying conscious attention to it. Just let the breath come in and out through the nose, keeping your mouth in a slightly open position. So now let's bring our attention to the rise and fall of the stomach as we breathe. Make sure to relax your stomach so that the diaphragm can descend enough to make the movements noticeable in the stomach. If you can't feel anything there, then focus on the area of your body that moves most as you breathe, possibly your chest. Let's watch the in-breath now. What you'll notice when you breathe in is that there's a slight feeling of tension as your diaphragm tightens, but there's also a feeling of nourishment and expansion. So feel your belly and your body as this happens. What does the in-breath really feel like? Try to isolate the sensations of the in-breath at the belly. And if your attention wanders, just gently return it to your belly. At the end of the in-breath, you'll find it'll naturally pause. So there'll be a moment of stillness. Get in touch with that moment of stillness and just see what it's like. Now try to detect the beginnings of the out-breath before it comes. The out-breath has a feeling of release, and this is the diaphragm relaxing. The feeling of being solid and grounded returns as you complete the out-breath. Just let the out-breath fall out on its own. You're not pushing it out, you're just letting it fall out, as it has been doing for many years. And once the out-breath is complete, we now have a pause. So just dwell in the feeling of the belly as it is when there's no breath happening, and try to isolate those sensations from everything else in your senses. And again, if your attention wanders, just gently return it to the breath. During the meditation, you might notice feelings of tiredness or emotional states like sadness or boredom or even joy or a sensation of peace. Just whatever you're feeling, whatever's happening, just allow it to happen. Don't resist it, don't try to change it. It is exactly as it is, and you let it be that way. So just stay with the breath, paying attention to the sensations in your stomach and looking for those moments of stillness and a pause between the breaths. You can also try to detect the very beginning of the in-breath before their cycle repeats. At the very beginning of the in-breath, there's very subtle sensations that announce the arrival of the in-breath, so just pay attention to those as well. If you find your attention drifting off repeatedly, you might want to make a mental label of the breath. So every now and then, while you're paying attention to the breathing, just say to yourself mentally, feel. Feel. If you feel your attention's moving off, feel. Don't be forceful with this, just be neutral and with a certain amount of gentleness as well. We detect the beginning of the in-breath, the full in-breath, and then the pause at the end, and also the beginning of the out-breath, the full out-breath, and the pause at the end of the out-breath. Check in with your face every now and then, so if you notice tension in the face, just intentionally relax that tense area. Make sure the face is nice and loose, make sure that your mouth is slightly open in the center and your lips are touching at the sides. Also, check in with the body every now and then to make sure that your body is relaxed as it was at the beginning. You can also intentionally relax certain parts of the body if they are particularly tense. What often happens when you maintain a posture for a certain amount of time is that some pain will start coming up. What you want to do is generate equanimity towards the pain. This means that you open up to it, you don't resist it, and you do this while keeping your main attention on the breath. So you might have a second of two of awareness of the pain, create equanimity towards it, allow it to be there, and then return your attention to the breath again. Really try to isolate the sensations of the stomach from the rest of what's going on in your senses. Try to delineate the area. So, where does the moving area end? We detect the beginning of the in breath, the full in breath, and then the pause at the end, and also the beginning of the out breath, the full out breath, and the pause at the end of the out breath. And what does it actually feel like to be breathing and for the stomach to be moving as you breathe? Be really interested in what the sensations are like. Develop a curiosity and a spirit of exploration. we detect the beginning of the in-breath, the full in-breath, and then the pause at the end, and also the beginning of the out-breath, the full out-breath, and the pause at the end of the out-breath. And again, if you find your attention drifting off, use the mental label feel to help you stay focused on the breathing. Great, so that's now 20 minutes of the breathing meditation. Just bring awareness to your body as a whole. Feel the breath moving throughout the entire body. A few in-breaths and a few out-breaths. And now we come to the end of the session.